Hello and welcome back to Yorkshire Railway and welcome back to another model railway review. Today we're going to be looking at the final of my Christmas presents, which is the Hornby Class 153 and the Scotrail Highland Explorer livery. It's quite a stunning loco from the box art, and I'm really looking forward to actually getting it out and running it on the track. So we'll get it out of the box, take a closer look at it, and we'll give it a good test run and, the usual, see how it performs. But anyway, let's get it out of the box. So yeah, I do absolutely love the Hornby box art. I think it is incredible, and if it looks anything as good as this on the actual model, I think we're in for a real treat. So if you want to purchase one of these for yourself, you've got the number there, which is R30011, Scotrail Class 153, number 153377. And we've got a bit of information on the history of the class. I'm not going to read that out, but if you want to, you can pause it here and read it for yourself. And then we have the technical drawing, which I'm a bit worried because it does say 2008. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing that it's that old. I would have liked a newly tooled one, with it being a new release from Hornby. But here we go. As you can see, we've got what looks to be a stunning locomotive in there. We'll just take a quick look at the booklet. So here we go, the Class 153. Just general bits and bobs. We've got lubrication points on all four axles. Not really a fan of the body removal. That looks like it's got clips, which definitely don't stand the test of time. Plastic does warp eventually, so it will probably end up breaking, so not a fan of that. And then you have the DCC ready chip inside there as well, so good to have some modern features like that, at least. But anyway, let's get that in there, and we'll take a closer look at the locomotive itself. Yeah, real nice to see it in the block of ice. Just remove it from its sleeve and we'll take a closer look at it in person. So there we go. First thing to note, there is no detail pack with this, so it seems like every single thing is fitted to the locomotive. I am noticing that we have some alternate couplings. So we've got some NEM couplings in there, as well as what looks to be some screw round couplings. Can't really see. Yeah, it looks like there is a couple of things to fit actually. So they're the like tension lock couplings, or the knuckle couplings, is it? That fits on the DMUs, but yeah. So I'll take the locomotive out of the packaging. Lovely to see it's well wrapped. Quite a bit of plastic sleeving there, and wow, that is a striking livery. I can't say I've ever seen a DMU this impressive, really. I mean, they are quite a basic locomotive, but the livery of this definitely does wonders for this. There is a little bit of weight, but you can definitely tell that's where the motor is. We'll take a closer look at the livery just now. So we'll start at one end and we'll work our way across. So we've got the snow plows at the front, which is great. The steps, very basic detail on the bogies. We've got the switches on the sides, so they're separately painted. There does appear to be a little bit of cab detail. I'll see if I can get that for you. I can't really tell if it's painted, but yeah, there's some cab detail in there at least, so that is nice. The window glazing is a little bit reflective, so yeah, I can't really see, but we've got a nice little Highland cow there, a castle, which is quite nice, really nice and scenic. We've got some people fishing on a boat. There is some detail inside the coaches as well. You can see the tables and chairs. We've got some deer. We've got a nice little island, and we've got some hikers, some cyclists, a tower or a statue of some kind. I believe that is the famous viaduct from Harry Potter, and if you know the name of it off the top of your head, like I clearly don't, drop that in the comments down below. We've got a steamboat and the cycle symbol, as well as a Scotrail, some more switches and signs on the other end as well. One thing to point out, the livery up close does look a little bit grainy, and underneath there is very plasticky in its construction. You know, it's nice to have some painted detail on the underframe as well. The roof's very basic as well, but yeah, from a distance, I'd say the graininess is less noticeable. You know, from normal viewing, I don't think that is an issue at all. And the ends are very nice as well, very nicely painted, as well as the uh, decals on there are very nicely applied. We've only got coupling at one end, but I believe you have got the functions to put them at both ends as well, so that is great. But yeah, from normal distance, that graininess isn't an issue. I think it's just up close, it does seem to be a problem. But anyway, we'll give her some power now she's down on the track, and we'll see if we can get any form of crawl out of this locomotive. A bit jerky start there, but yeah, she is off in a slow and coggy manner. Let's get it to go the other way. There we go. Yeah, now speeding up a little bit. Yeah, slow speed definitely seems a little bit on the coggy side. Yeah, it's not terrible at slow speeds. I mean, you have to remember this locomotive hasn't been running yet, so like with everything, a bit of running in should improve, and generally over time it should get better. But yeah, we'll send the locomotive for a bit of a test run. She'll have an hour, half an hour forwards, half an hour in reverse, and we'll see if any improvement can be done with that crawl. Definitely slow speed, but not a crawler. And there she goes, she's in reverse now, coming back around and stop. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. That definitely shows there isn't a flywheel fitted to this locomotive, because that was a dead stop. So a bit unfortunate with that, but let's see by giving her some power if that crawl is improved. Just raising the power up. Have to remember it is on the Hornby Select controller still. I haven't yet upgraded. I will do when I start construction of the layout properly. But yeah, that crawl definitely has improved. There's an improvement there. It's not as coggy, but certainly I won't really call that a crawl. That's more of a very, very slow speed, but that's still quite impressive. You know, it's nice to be able to have some control in that slower speed, especially if you know you're wanting to do more realistic stopping and starting in a station. So yeah, that's not too bad, I don't think. Would be nicer to have a crawl, but I guess the motor isn't that brilliant. I'm not actually sure what type of motor is in here, but certainly I would probably guess it's maybe a 3-pole rather than a 5-pole, which is why we're getting this bit of a cogginess with the crawl. But certainly at a slower speed, I'd say that is absolutely fine in its performance. You know, I'm certainly not disappointed with this locomotive at all. It looks stunning, and it does have another feature as well that I'm going to show you now, which I think absolutely makes locomotives like this. You know, they're very basic in the construction, but look, we have working lights. Not just forward lights, which I definitely think for Hornby locomotives like this, it is very rare to have this. We have forward lights, but we have tail lights as well. And I think that is absolutely fantastic. You know, like I say, the locomotives in the construction are very basic, and I think especially with the diesel locomotives, lights absolutely make a locomotive like this. It's just a brilliant feature, and I'm very, very happy that it has it, because I have the other Hornby DMU, which is the Super Sprinter, that comes in a 2-car DMU that doesn't have lights, and I think it is just absolutely non-comparable to this. This is just absolutely fantastic to have lights. Definitely forward lights and tail lights. So yeah, really, really happy with that feature. I think what we'll do now is, now that we've seen that you can do a slow performance and shown the lights, we'll get her on the track properly and we'll give her a bit of a test run. So there we go, we'll give her a bit of juice and we'll send her on a test run round the test oval rather than the test track. This was filmed a bit previously before I started construction of that. But whilst we're watching her go around, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank the staff at Rails of Sheffield. And this was a Christmas present from my nan, who is 78 years old. She's 79 this year. She's quite tech savvy. She's got an iPhone and she does Amazon Prime and online shopping all the time. So yeah, she's not afraid of technology. But when she asked me what I wanted for Christmas, I said that I would like one of these. And at the time, Rails of Sheffield had them on pretty decent price compared to everyone else. So I asked, would you mind getting me from here? So she went and ordered one. And from what she told me, something happened in regards to, I think she purchased it and it said it was in stock, but it turned out it actually wasn't. Whether it was a website glitch, I'm not really sure. So she went into a little bit of a mad panic. She does panic a little bit because she thought, oh, it's not going to arrive in time for Christmas. So she was in contact with them every week. She ended up talking to someone, I believe his name was Cameron. So I hope it is, but if not, thank you very much, Cameron, for looking after my nan. But if not, you'll know her as Wendy. So if you work at Rails of Sheffield and you spoke to someone called Wendy over Christmas time, that was my nan, and I really thank you for looking after her. She said that your service was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, basically they managed to source one in time for Christmas and got it out to my nan so that I could open it on Christmas Day. So yeah, thank you to the members of Rails of Sheffield. Now, time for the ratings of the Hornby Class 153 Scotrail Highland Explorer livery, and this is number 57377. So performance-wise, I've given it a 4-star. Might be a little bit generous, but I don't think the performance was too bad. Certainly would be nice if we could have a bit of a better crawl, but yeah, the slow speed was quite impressive, and I honestly don't think that detracts a lot from the model. Certainly it may be a bit generous in its marking, but yeah, I've given it 4-star. Detail wise, I've given it 3-star. Certainly is a bit disappointing that it is the 2008 tooling rather than new tooling. Obviously we've got things like the snow plows fitted, but it would be nice to see a little bit more separately fitted detail rather than mould detail. Certainly is very basic in that construction. I know DMDUs aren't that, they're not that way built in construction, but certainly I imagine the roof is a little bit dated at this point, and it would be nice to have a little bit more of an upgraded tooling. So that's why the detail's getting a 3-star. Livery, I've gifted it 4.5 stars, and I think that is because this livery is absolutely stunning. It's fantastic. The only reason it's not really got a 5-star is just because that graininess on the printing. I don't think it's come out quite that crisp, but as I said, from normal viewing distance, that isn't an issue. But certainly, I've got to be a little bit harsh in this reasoning. So yeah, it doesn't quite get 5 stars in my books just because that graininess. But certainly I would say it is an absolutely stunning livery, and I wouldn't let that detract from you getting one of these if you like the look of it. Quality wise, again, we're going 3-star. That is mainly just down to the fact, 2008 tooling. Come on, Hornby, just give us a new upgraded tooling. Certainly though, that does reflect in the value, and that's why I've given it 4 stars. £130, what Rails of Sheffield was selling it for, which I think is an absolutely decent price. I know at the end of the day it is basically just a motorised coach, but I don't think that's too bad for a locomotive. Certainly for like a railroad locomotive, you pay about the same, and this is obviously a Railroad Plus locomotive. So yeah, I don't think that's pretty bad. I know it's marketed in the railways range, but I do think it probably is a Railroad Plus. But certainly I don't think that's too bad. We've got the lighting features on there, as well as the stunning livery, and I think the value of this is actually pretty decent for once. I don't feel ripped off by the price of it. I feel like I've paid a fair price. Certainly, it could be a little bit cheaper, and I imagine in time, if retailers don't sell this, it might go for a little bit cheaper. But certainly I don't think 130 is bad. Certainly maybe 120 might be a bit more of a reasonable price, but like I say, I imagine retailers might drop them in sales. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad value at all. Certainly not a bargain, but I think it is a decent price point for a locomotive, especially in, this is the year 2024. Obviously it was purchased at 2023, but still, I don't think the value is too bad. And that moves us to the overall rating of 3.7, which I was quite surprised by that. Obviously, the detail and the quality have knocked it down a little bit, but yeah, I can't argue against the ratings I've given it. So yeah, it's overall rating of 3.7 stars, and yeah, I don't think, looking back, that is too harsh. Certainly, I've got a bit of a soft spot for it, so I can't be objective against it. At the end of the day, it is a very basic model. It's certainly, like I say, it's a good value model, but it is very basic, and that is what I'll probably send out in this message, is that, expectations really should be a bit lower for this locomotive. In the price point, that should give you a bit lower expectation. But as I say, the livery is absolutely stunning. If you're into Scotrail, or you just think the livery is absolutely fantastic, I'd say that this locomotive is worth it. And yeah, it's got my seal of approval. Certainly could be better, but if you're a beginner modelist, or you're just getting back into the hobby, or you're just wanting something to buy, your children or grandchildren, I would say that this model is absolutely fantastic. I've got no faults endorsing it whatsoever. Certainly, I imagine the likes of Bachmann have probably got really nicely tooled locomotives that run a bit smoother, but at the end of the day, you pay probably 2 or 3 times the price. So yeah, there is always that. So I think Hornby have done a fantastic job with this. I'd say next time, if they're going to make one, just update the tooling a little bit. That would be quite nice. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, drop me a comment down below. I'd like to know, do you have one of these? Are you planning on getting one? Or, do you not like it at all? Just drop it down in the comments down below. I'd like to know your thoughts either way. If you've enjoyed the video, give us a like. It really does go far to let me know whether you're enjoying these reviews. I know they're a little bit more casual than some channels, but certainly I'm just giving you my point of view. Certainly, if you have a channel that you prefer, or a channel that you prefer me over a channel, that's great. Give me a like, give me a dislike. I'd say if you're going to give a dislike though, drop a comment as well, and just let me know why you didn't like it and what I can do to improve. And then, if you haven't already, drop us a subscribe as well. That would be absolutely brilliant. Subscribing is free. It really helps me out as a channel to grow, and gets more recognition for these videos, because you subscribe, and then more people find my channel, and then hopefully they'll subscribe too. So yeah, like I say, it's free to do so. So give us a subscribe, and if you're not really into the whole reviewing of locomotives, I've got a construction of my layouts series going as well. So there's always going to be something for somebody. I'm planning on doing a lot of scenery, as well as tooling up wagons as well. So I've got some loads that I want to put in wagons, because it's one thing that really bugs me about some wagons, that obviously they come empty, but I think when they're on the railway that they should have a load in them. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit of messy modelling soon, hopefully. But yeah, there's something for everyone. So like I say, just drop us a subscribe. And I hope that you've enjoyed this video. That's enough of me rambling today. I'm going to say thank you again to Rails of Sheffield, and thank you to my lovely Nan for getting me this locomotive. It was definitely a brilliant thing to open on Christmas Day. We're going to move forwards with the next reviews. I'm planning on doing a steam locomotive next, so stay tuned for that in the coming future. That's all from me today, guys. Hope you have a lovely day, whatever you're doing, whether you're at work, whether it's your day off, whether you're doing some modelling. Hope you have a lovely day. Take care of yourselves, stay safe out there, and I will catch you in the next video. See you later, everyone. Goodbye.